What it do and how you doing? It's your boy Marty Marr, representing ETM. That's Everything Matters, your number one pop culture spot where we talk about anything and everything, but most importantly, why it matters. I'm your host, Marty Marr. Today I'm solo. Today I got a message for y'all, man. I already said I was going to talk about mama's cooking. Shout out to Kwame Brown. Shout out to the wisdom of the elders. I think it's about time that we start seeing the tide shift. And by time, I just think we mean like the things that's happening right now. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Kwame has been making headlines lately this whole week. And if you don't know who Kwame Brown is, I'm going to show you what he looks like right now. So while I do that, please take this time to ask yourself, today, you woke up with more energy, you woke up with another chance at life. But what are you doing today that you did different yesterday? All right. What are you doing today differently than you did yesterday? So without further ado, let's share the screen. Share screen. Just share the screen, right? So, oops, did that wrong. 1 second, y'all. One second, share window. Bet. So, for y'all who don't know, this is what Kwame looks like. He was the former number one pick for the Washington Wizards a couple of years ago. And basically, he was an NBA player who, by some people's standards, or as a first pick for a first round, didn't pan out to the expectations that people had for him, right? So, that's nothing wrong with that. You can never meet everyone's expectations, nor can you please everybody. So I don't think the fact that he couldn't meet expectations was the issue. Don't think that was the issue at all. I think the issue is more rooted in the fact that not only was he not speaking on a lot of things for 20-something years, but if you think about it, why would somebody who has been drafted, been stopped playing basketball, still be relevant? And by relevant, I mean to still be a point of emphasis by people who are on media today. It's not many reasons that I can think of. So instead of sharing what I thought, what did Kwame say? Kwame said a lot. He said something about that mama's cooking. For y'all who don't know what mama's cooking is, that's just the elders or anybody. I'm assuming anybody who was older, wiser, that gave you wisdom that you can keep and pass it on. Mama's cooking. But I had to think about it. I was a Wizards fan, even if I wasn't. Like, I know who Kwame was. Why somebody who ain't been talking for 20 years need to talk now? And furthermore, why would other people start talking with them? So, it gets deeper. Let's talk about what is the go along, get along game. And for those of y'all who on the IG, I know y'all can't really see, but we live right now. We live. But basically, the go along, get along game is people who have a vested interest in things that they normally wouldn't talk about without that vested interest. Let's just focus on entertainment and hip hop or entertainment in the industry. People who only watch morning talk shows or people who only watch listen to radio, or podcasts, or just follow their favorite celebrity, right? They're more likely, and we're all more likely to listen to somebody that we follow. not just because we want to listen to them, but because we like them. Obviously, we keep up with them and we follow them. But why? Right? And I always felt like, damn, why do I follow? And I don't follow, but like, why do I keep up with people who really don't care about me? And when you think about it, when you support a celebrity, you may go to their concert, you may stream their music. If they got music, you may watch them on TV, whatever they're entertaining. You may listen to their jokes if they're a comedian. Whatever the case may be, you're following, you're supporting, you're supporting, you're supporting. But who is supporting back? It's not like I seen anybody directly take anything from this support, especially during this pandemic, and use it in a way in which it can go to a state to state thing, right? We say we got all these entertainers, all these celebrities, all these people who we put up on a pedestal, okay? And we don't pay them, but we pay them by supporting them, so we do pay them, right? Somebody pays them. Whoever pays them, that's where the go along, get along game starts, right? Case in point, who remembers the person in the NFL last year? It was a white dude. Who remembers his name and how bad did he beat that woman up, which was his fiance or girlfriend at the time? I'll wait. No one, right? You know why no one was doing that? And shout out to Unique View, listening while working. Appreciate that. But think about that. Who would be the person to not only pay these people, but who would be the person to administer a message, right? Who would be the person to, if we have 90 million raised in Black Lives Matter, why don't we see transparency with that? Why don't we have an idea where the money is going? Or why don't we have, with $90 million, right? We got 50 states. Even if we just start in the United States, with 50 states and 90 million, you mean to tell me you can't deviate $1 million for each state to start a program or start a foundation, or start not even a foundation, a thing to where somebody could have programs? $1 million is a lot of money, right? And you raise 90 million for Black Lives Matter. But I'm not just gonna talk about that. I just wanted to know where some of this transparency is when we start putting people up on a pedestal. But let's deviate it back to my original point of this go along, get along game, right? So you, and I'm sure me, we all know somebody somewhere who just watches talk shows or just watches YouTube, radio, whatever. If a person who's not of color, never dealt with that many people of color, just mainly, keeps up with the pop culture, urban culture, whatever, keeps up with things, likes music, whatever, but you're not around that culture, our culture, then how would you understand or think about what's happening with us when you don't know, right? So if all you do know is what you hear, and what you hear is, these guys are ignorant, these guys is no good. Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson is allegedly molesting and doing inappropriate actions with, not molesting, but inappropriate actions with 16 people. Then it's 20 the next day. Then it's 22 about massages or something. But we still don't know the name of the white dude who beat the woman to almost death last year. I can't say that enough because the NFL was so admirable at one point. Ray Rice, can't never play another down, right? I can go on. The list is big, but I'm gonna tell y'all this dude's name. I'm gonna share it, and I'm gonna show you people on IG what it is. His name is Chad Wheeler, right? And not only am I gonna show you what Chad Wheeler looks like, but his girlfriend at the time, or fiance, who he beat. And the case was pushed. And today is the actual day, June 1st, that they're supposed to have this case. It's crazy how the stuff happened all the way last year. Then in February, I think he posted bond or something. It was supposed to happen in April. And now today I'm doing this, and today is the day the child's supposed to be. Chad Wheeler. Y'all want to know what Chad Wheeler looks like? I got you. 1 second. Chad Wheeler. Boop. Boop. So let's show y'all what Chad Wheeler looks like. All right. So Chad Wheeler. I don't know if y'all can see that on the thing, but I'll go to the entire page. My bad, that's this girl. Okay, so Chad Wheeler right here, man, was an undrafted dude, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is what happened early on in him in college, right? So apparently in college, this dude had an altercation. On December 19th, 2015, Wheeler was involved in an accident on the USC. He went to USC. Los Angeles police responded to a call at 8:45 a.m. at the apartment in South Los Angeles near the campus. They arrived, and the suspect, who was Wheeler, was confronted by police who were concerned that he might grab a weapon and got into an altercation with them that led the police to shoot him with multiple beanbag rounds. This right here already, if I wasn't a calm person, this would trigger us. This would trigger me, and I understand why. This is triggering because not only do, we see the difference in how they handle situations, police, but we see like this dude was already having some issues and altercations to which in 2015, this made him really go undrafted. He missed the Holiday Bowl, and that's one of the bowls for his colleges that's pretty big. So all charges were dropped too. And he wasn't even arrested. He was held in protective custody at a hospital for psychiatric evaluation. Keyword, psychiatric evaluation, right? And this was 2015. On January 23rd, 2021. This dude was arrested in Kent on the charges that happened last year. 3 counts of felony, domestic violence on a $400,000 bail, and he made it, right? So he made all these bails, and, it seemed like the media or the machine, this happened for one day, and I ain't hear nothing since. In 2020, I haven't heard no updates, no nothing. So all these talk shows, First Take, and other things like that, why aren't they reporting this, right? Why isn't that such a big thing that, the person who beat somebody up half to death or almost to death did not only he got released by the Seahawks. And let me tell y'all something about that. When you get released by the NFL team, what's that, Pedro? When you get released, though, by the team, you don't have to have consequences from the league. So, like, people like Ray Rice, niggas like that, who was still signed and the league had to come down on them, the league is not obligated to do something. And it's so convenient that nobody else picked this bum up. Because now we got niggas like this who can beat women, our women, on national. It can be national attention, national media. I'm going to show y'all what her face looked like, too. I forgot that. I'm going to show y'all what her face looked like, and we're going to see if this was something that, was irrelevant or not worth the attention. I just don't get. Let that be a black dude that beat a white woman like that. What? I'm going to show y'all these pictures so y'all can see what I'm saying. Because if a black dude was to ever do that, or even if a black woman was to somehow beat up a white man to the point in which this person got beat up, y'all would be like, it wouldn't be no discussion. It wouldn't even be this much of it would have been, he wouldn't have got arrested the next year. He would have got arrested immediately. 1. 2, it wouldn't have been no questions. It wouldn't have been like, yeah, so what did you do? They would have ran with whatever was the first thing there. And that's the point I'm talking about. That's the machine and how they protect not only the people a part of it, but themselves and their images, their narrative, their reputation, right? So why is reputation important? You can say I'm not a follower. I don't need reputation. But when you want to do business in this life, in this world, you need a form of a reputation. You need to be reputable, right? You need to have something that makes people want to work with you. I podcast. I've been doing it for 2 years. I work with various people now. It took time to get people to want to work with us, right? Hey, Appreciate that unique view, and I definitely will make it larger. And thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. And I'm gonna try to keep up with comments too, y'all. But on the real though, like, why is it that the imagery is so important? The reputation is so important because of public opinion. Now, I'm a criminal justice major. Now, when stuff goes public, like cases and stuff like that, usually it goes public for a couple reasons. One is to try to maybe get some more information, to get somebody to talk, et cetera, because when stuff start getting public, people start getting scared. People start getting nervous and they start slipping up. Another reason why something might go public is because of the fact that they want to raise attention to it for whatever reason that they need to raise attention to it. So if something wasn't getting national news or any news at all, you bring it to public and hope that somebody could pick the story up, and then now people are going to write story. The machine. And that's going to lead us to our next question. What is the machine used to create this narrative? And I'll probably end it with this last, segment, y'all. The machine that is used to create or to promote this agenda is basically media. And it's very hard to discern what it is if you're not listening. But if you listen to the content of what somebody say and not just how they look, or just if you never have to agree with everything that somebody says, but if you hear what they're saying and you try to find out where they're coming from, then you can have a better understanding of what the message is. That's how you can determine. If you see, I'm just going to use it, First Take, right? And I love that show. And I have respect for Stephen A. I have respect for a lot of these things that helped me get into podcasting. But it's not just about what I see publicly, what I see them do, because I could take this right now and not release it and edit it and make it funny and making all this and that. But this is not that message, right? This message today is to just tell people who have been listening and people who haven't been listening that this is getting spicy. This is getting real. We the people is starting to come together slowly but surely. And there's going to be many things that's not going to like that. Because when you come together, it's solid. When you come together, it's a foundation. When you have a solid foundation, any house built on a solid foundation is going to stand. And that's what people don't want. People in this go along, get along gang don't want. And yes, there's some black people in it, some white people. It's people of all creeds, origins, races, etc. This particular thing isn't like a straight discriminatory. There's levels to everything, right? And because there's levels to everything, we could be fooled and think that you have to be a celebrity or somebody of status, known status, let me say that, to be a part of anything significant that's secret or anything that could promote an agenda. That's not true. Right now, I produce my own stuff, and that's not an agenda. You know what I'm saying? But I do have a message that I'm trying to get out. But it's not like people are paying me every day to do this. No. And that's the thing. When somebody is trying to put money in your pockets to do something, usually they want a message. So let's go back to what Kwame said. Why would Stephen A. Smith go to colleges to promote something of an agenda like about a person who never went to college, right? Who already got their job? Because when you leave in high school, back in sometimes I was told they had things like trades. They had things like courses you could take and learn something to where you could leave this high school and get to the job field if you wanted to, or you can go to secondary post-education, whatever you wanted to do. But they took a lot of these things out just to try to promote an agenda of going to college. And you think they want to say we're going to college and to help our education when college is 40, 50, 60, 70, 80,000 plus? No, because college used to be free. We're not that far from removed 40 years ago when college was free. Judge Joe Brown was just on the podcast with Kwame, and he himself talked about how and he went to college in LA. Not only was it free, but I think it was UCLA. Not only was it free, but all they had to pay for was health insurance, which covered everything. I think he said it was $56. Just move that to today. Even if we just had to pay health insurance, that's less than $1,000. If you had to pay less than $1,000, more people will go to college because they would be able to experience it and try. And we say we have these programs like FAFSA and stuff like that. That shit is not free. FAFSA is not free. And you could say, you could be a scholar and still don't always get scholarships. You could be an athlete and still don't have a full ride. And my thing is, you should not have to do that just so you can see what it's like to have to be more educated, to see that's gonna get you a better job. Because that's mainly why we're doing it. It's not like you wanted to go, or majority of people wanted to go just to further their education. Majority of people who go to college, according to the numbers, go to college because their family, put that on them. And it's not that it's a bad thing. I went to school, but I just think that if I known what I knew beforehand, if I knew like trades and business, or if I would have known I wanted to do this, I'd have started this before instead of going to college, getting 40, 50. I don't even want to say my business like that. Getting in debt. Now, freaking, you go to college like that, y'all, you getting in debt unless you have straight grants from the state or the governor, academic grants, or you got scholarship from sports. That should not have to be the only effing avenue so we can have better job. And then look, nigga said it the best. You go to school, right? When you leave, you not only going to start with maybe a job with 30, 40, 50,000 at the best. And if you have a specialized degree, you might start off 60, 70,000. If you're 80,000 and under in debt, when you make 40, 50, 60, you'll never pay that off. Life don't just stop when you stop going to school. We all know that. So I think that not only is we gonna stay on top of this, y'all, and I'm gonna make sure I feed y'all the correct info, and it's opinion, it's fact, but it's a fact right now that there is some type of machine that's out there that's promoting the agenda. And my last point is this, right? If that same energy and a same machine was used to promote the other side that it doesn't promote, people who would never see us or meet us originally would be more inclined to listen. Because some people never have friends that are colored, or whatever you want to call a person of color, a minority, whatever, Black, African American, Native American, whatever. These people, us, when we walk down the street, when we go anywhere, we should not have to feel uncomfortable to be looked at and be like, dang, like I know people looking at us, or dang, I gotta act anytime, I gotta be chill. The same way Donald Trump could be a president and be him, and people gonna accept that, the same way Kwame can be him, same way Martin can be him, same way you can be you. You could be you. I'm not saying don't be your best version. I'm not saying don't, grab and write. And I ain't saying none of that stuff. I'm saying be your best version and don't be ashamed of that. Because nobody else has to be ashamed. That's not like that. So why should we be ashamed? Right? Who is it that's saying that people need to be ashamed of anyway? Who is it that's promoting this thing anyway? These are questions that I'm gonna leave y'all with. And maybe next time when I get on, we're gonna try to answer. Got 30 more seconds. So if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't followed, check out my page, check out our brand, ETM, Everything Matters. It's your number one pop culture spot. We talk about any and everything, but most importantly, why it matters. It's your boy, Marty Marr, socials and everything in the bottom. Let's get it.